G'day. And welcome to Thfc Till I Die, the home of Spurs, past, present, and in a very, very exciting future. We are with a Man United fan who is he's a bit angry and pissed off at the moment, but we won't say anything about it. We'll keep it very quiet. Yeah. Anyway, we leave the elephant in the corner of the room. But welcome and join me, of course, on this lovely stream is a man looking around himself. I think Philip's waiting
for the elephant. Where's the elephant?
It's the Glazers sitting in the corner of Colum's bedroom. That's where the Glazers are hiding. Anyway, welcome. Of course, you all know Philip, the Godfather, Tom Jones, the Godfather, who would leave a horse's head next to my pillow when I wake up tomorrow morning. There'll be a horse's head there.
One horse is a stable full heading your way.
What was the name of that horse, Philip, that went missing years ago?
Shergar.
Yeah, is that one of them?
Yeah, he's out the back here.
Is he? You've had Shergar all these years. You've done well keeping that right, Mr. Brady.
Yeah. We disguised him, painted a false moustache on him.
The guard even knocking on his door in a minute with a live with a live raid. Joining us, of course, down the bottom, of course, is the man. He needs no introduction. He really is. He's Man United's biggest fan. He really is. He's the one and only from full times, but he's looking around at all. Well, he's checking to see if the Glazers are okay in the corner of his room. That's what he's doing. Of course, it's the one and only Colin for Full-Time Spurs Network. Colin, how are you, sir?
I'm not too bad, thank you. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, I was just checking that, the smell from the Glazers' bodies that I dumped at the bottom of my bed hasn't quite reached the point where I need to get rid of them yet. But we're all good at the minute. We're all good.
Right, so that would be 2 raids happening. And of course, next to Colin, of course, this man needs no introduction. He really is. He's the leader of the Trons. He is the one and only Ollie-tron.
How you doing?
Not too bad. From Ollie, how are you, sir?
Promoting me to leader.
Yeah. You're part of the
You're promoted, Ollie. You got promoted.
Yeah. So you must be supreme leader then, Dermot.
Yeah, I am. Yeah. I'm up the top. You're next. You're a bit like Conte or Ange Postecoglou. Yeah, so I'm
honoured.
Yeah. But there you are. You're not in your van. You're in your shed. So how are you this evening, sir?
I'm all right, yeah. Had a nice day today, actually. Yeah.
That's good. Washed your van? All ready for Monday?
No, I went for a run. I watched Mighty Ducks 1, Mighty Ducks 2, and then we had to watch Titanic. So just watching films.
What happened to Mighty Ducks 3?
You know what? By the time 2 was over, I was like, all right, I'm not watching any more ice hockey. I've had enough.
So you ended up watching about a ship that was going to sink anyway. You know what's going to happen at the end of the film.
Yeah. Here she wanted to watch it, but
having that sinking feeling comes naturally to a Spurs fan, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Are you trying to compare Tottenham to the Titanic, Philip?
No, the only difference is there's no icebergs in Tottenham.
There is. It's called Levy and Enoch, but never mind. Right. Anyway, she was in the chat tonight. We've got Big Up Jerula. She says, "Evening, guys." We've got Lisa from Mexico. Lisa, let us know where in Mexico you're from. I actually probably have forgotten. Hi, Jerula. Good afternoon, evening to the panel and chat. We've got Jim, Spurs Till I Die. Hi to Jerula. We've got the one and only Ellie. Looking forward to the show. It's going to be interesting. One and big up to all in the chat. Who else we've got? We've got Ellie saying, Jim, Kate, Drula, ever present. What a trio. We've got Kate. Evening, guys. I'm absolutely shattered, so I may not make it to the end. We can always watch this on repeat. Who else we've got in? So we've got Kate saying hi to us. We've got Hot God 10. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Hot God 10. Terry White. Big up, Terry White. And we've got Andrew Gregory. Evening, guys. How are you all hanging?
Yep.
Well, I'm hanging fine. Philip's hanging. How are the Glazers hanging there, Colin?
By the neck,
well,
better say that.
No. You need to stop asking me these Glazer questions, otherwise you're going to get demonetized or something.
Yeah, that's actually very true. Maybe they're all linked together. Maybe they're all sitting in a pub somewhere, the Glazers and Enoch and the Liverpool, and I was all having a good drink on the Saturday evening somewhere in Manchester.
No, they'd have to spend money for that.
It's all right. They'll put it on a tab. They'll put it on Manchester United's tab or something. It's fine.
Yeah.
Hod God, Terry, Paul, Andrew, and Shergirl. There you go.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I think, oh no, we've got Grass Patch, it's Schooner Gaz, big up Ollie. There you go. I actually watched your very good first show last week, Ollie. Congratulations.
Yeah, well done.
Thanks very much. Yeah, thanks for the support.
Yeah. Carl Simpson says the only issue I have fight now is that gigantic tool.
Yeah, Uli Hoeneß. Yeah. I'm going to comment about that in a while.
Somebody needs to Google gag him and hide him in the cupboard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Apparently, they've been absolutely blatant about it now. They're literally broadcasting. Anyone that'll listen, we've talked to Harry Kane. They're not even trying to hide the fact they tapped him up now. You know.
Yeah, I've talked to Harry Kane. Ollie talked to him there an hour ago. He's still on his plane, apparently.
You weren't offering him $500,000 a week to go to your club, though, were you?
Yeah.
No, the plane landed. The plane landed about 2 hours ago in.
Did it?
In Perth, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. We've got Ali saying, so I'll let you read this one out, Philip. Go on.
So, something by column announcement at Thfc till I die. Have I got my Irish citizen yet? As if I'm not reporting, you've got the Glazers.
What do you reckon? Should we give it to a column?
I'll just give it to her. Give it to her. Yeah, give it to her.
Yeah, go on then.
Then we'll just tip off the immigration people at Dublin Airport that it's a false passport. So when she comes in, they won't let her in then.
I say anything.
Don't shoot me, Ellie. Don't shoot me.
Oh, dear. Considering she did bribe an official as well.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And let's not forget that now. So, big up to everyone that's in the chat anyway. So, look, let's start with you, Colin. Look, you got this Man United takeover with the Glazers, right? Before we get on to the rumour I heard during the week. How far has it gone down the road for you to think now, okay, I just want anybody else bar the Glazers? I mean, would you take Liberty Media if they came knocking?
I would take anybody at Manchester United that will actually look after the club and have the club's interest at heart. That's all I want. You know, I've wanted that for many, many years now. Even when we were winning trophies, you know, I wanted different ownerships to what the Glazers are, because especially over the last couple of years, you've seen how badly ran Manchester United is. You know, we don't do transfer deals properly. The stadium's falling apart. You know, we haven't invested into the training structure or the training grounds or anything like that. And they've taken out, I think it's somewhere close to £325 million in dividends since they took over. You know, they don't actually put anything back into the club. So anybody, it doesn't have to be a multi-billionaire. It doesn't have to be Qatar or Liberty, you know, or Sir Jim. Anybody that would actually give a damn about Manchester United, the fans, and the history of our club to come in and just get rid of those rats would be fantastic.
Right, Colin, how much a year are they taking out of Man United? You know,
it all depends. So I think, let me think. Under Ollie, when we had Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I think they took a payment of 15 out towards the beginning of the season, then another 30, and then towards the back end of the season, I think they took another 25. So that's, you know, that's like what, 70 million.
So I'll go to you, Ollie, and then I'll end up with you in this, Philip. Look, Ollie, we've all had our problems with Enoch and Levy. Look, it's been a good window so far, but we're not as bad as Man United, are we? And what they're going through with their owners, and they've been battling for 20 years, nearly 30 years to get them out. So are we a bit too harsh on Levy and Enoch?
Well, I wouldn't say we're being too harsh on Enoch and Levy. I think it's like two separate situations. As far as I'm concerned, Enoch and Levy need to go at this stage. But when it comes to Man United, their owners are a disgrace. Now I don't know the full facts, but when they took it over in 2004, was it 2004, 2003? They
2003, I
they didn't
think.
even pay for the club. They took out a massive loan. I don't even think you're allowed to do that anymore. They took out invested debt, and they bought the club with debt. And
That's right.
ever since then, they got away with it for the first 9 years because David Hill and Ferguson was running the club for them. But ever since they've gone, they put Woodward there, who was in charge of transfers, bringing in, spending stupid money on players, having no plan. Like Colin said, stadium rotten, training ground, same training ground they moved to. They used to train in the Cliff, used to be able to watch them for nothing. And they went to Carrington. That Carrington training ground hasn't changed in 20 odd years. The club is rotten, and the Glazers are just taking money out of it. And another thing, what I heard as well, I heard it actually on the Football Terrace. Funny enough, Terry Fleur said it, that this summer United apparently only have 100 million to spend, and because of financial fair play. So that's why they took so long to get Mountain. There's no wriggle room to go higher. Usually United would just go a bit higher, but they basically got Mountain and they've got Onana in, and they're at the 100 now. And the Glazers, if they wanted, I think there's a rule that they can put 90 million into the club and it won't affect financial fair play. It's a drop in the ocean to them, and they won't do it. They could just solve United's transfer problems just like that, and they refused.
It's like Joe Lewis, isn't it?
Yeah.
Joe Lewis would do the same at Tottenham.
Yeah, but Philip, we've had a good window so far, to be fair. It's been a better window. Where can you understand you see the United fans and their protests and what they've done for the last 20 years? It's been well organized. It's been well, thousands upon thousands upon thousands turning up, right? You've seen them. They even got a game abandoned against Liverpool during the pandemic. You look at us, we've got the best stadium in the world, probably one of the best training facilities in the world. And I know some people that are watching and other people are going to call me out in it and saying, but we haven't won trophies. And that's right. We haven't won. United have won more than us in the last 20 years. But, if you had a choice between the Glazers and Enoch and Levy, who would you pick?
Well, I mean, answer that in two parts. What the Glazers pulled off when they bought United was a masterstroke in financial skullduggery, to be honest with you. They bought one of the best known football clubs in the world without putting a penny of their own money into it, right? And then they had the cheek to go and take the likes of 70 million out of it as a dividend. Whereas at least Enoch bought Spurs with their own money. They didn't borrow the money. They didn't take out a loan in the name of Tottenham Hotspur FC to buy the club like United did. So from that point of view, Enoch. But that being said, Colin, I mean, you have to admit this, even though the financial end of it and the ownership end has been a shit show for years at United, you have won trophies. And that, I'd say that has tempered the anger a little bit. But now it's a while since you got a trophy, and the anger is now rising up again. So, as regards who would I prefer as owners, probably neither of them. But if I had to take a gun to my head, I would take Enoch, basically for what they've done, providing us with what you said, with the best stadium, training ground, blah, blah, blah. But they haven't followed up with investment on the pitch, and that's where really it matters.
Yeah, and also they've left us financially secure as well.
But by the way, I see United were fined 285 grand by FFP this week as well for some irregularities or other. I forget what it was. It was a minor irregularity, but they got fined heavily for it.
I just want to quickly say big up to Mr. Harris, the Irish Hotspur. United have won trophies under their ownership. We have not. Big up, Dave.
I think we've
you know what I was
that
saying
now, Dave, right.
United have won trophies not because of the Glazers, though. They've won it in spite of the Glazers, because it's embedded into United to win trophies.
Yeah,
they would have won double the amount of trophies if it wasn't for the Glazers. They would have won more. Like the Tottenham situation is completely different. Levy and Enoch are a disgrace as well. But I don't even like comparing them because it's just completely different in certain, like. The Glazers are just lucky that they own United, and United win trophies in spite of anything. But Tottenham, obviously, since Enid took over, have stopped winning trophies. And that's for other reasons, obviously.
Jim is saying, Colin, your stadium is falling down as well, my friend, which I think he knows that. Andrew Gregg was asking, would you take Michael Knighton?
Again.
No.
The guy with 20 quid in his bank account.
I've got more money in my bank account than what he's got.
Oh no! That was funny. That was. It wasn't funny for United at the time, but it was funny for the rest of us.
David McKay, big up to you. She said, "How is it a good window so far? Where's the centre backs? They're coming.
They're coming.
For what I'm hearing,
we keep saying this, that transfers are not done like on Football Manager, where you press a button and he's in your club. There's a load of things to go through. It takes time, not least the bargaining the price with the selling club, which is probably the most important part of it. So they are coming. Believe me, they are coming. So just be patient.
Right. So let's get on with the show tonight. It is, of course, about this rumour we heard during the week. And it is about F1 company Liberty Media and Qatar are both interested in taking over Spurs. The latter of the two only if the bid for United fails, which is why we've got Colin on here to give us the United sort of side of that. The current value of Spurs is around 2.783 billion. Daniel Levy and co have put their own price tag on the club and will want a stupid bid for the London club. It's believed that any bid under 5 billion would not be enough, as they value the club highly. Now, who are Liberty Media, you're asking? Well, Liberty Media Corporation are three core businesses. Of course, Formula One, they're also the owners of Atlanta Beavers baseball team.
Atlanta Braves.
In 2022, Atlanta Braves revenue was 425 million. Spurs revenue was 444 billion. Liberty Formula One Group total assets March 23rd were 10.9 billion. The Atlanta Braves total asset March 23 was 1.58 billion. The Sirius Radio total assets is 11 billion, and then the team value is 2.6 billion. Liberty are worth 23.5 billion. Now, Philip, you put the ticket prices here. Do you want to go through these ticket prices?
Yeah, this is basically just explain that the Atlanta Braves Stadium holds 44,000. Our stadium holds 62,000. So bear in mind, our revenue is bigger than theirs, right? But they're working off a stadium only 2/3 the size. So if our fans are complaining about our ticket prices, I think the Atlanta Brave fans have reason to complain about theirs. For a game tomorrow, the cheapest seat is $29, which is probably sitting on top of the floodlights, and up to $219 for the most expensive seat. Then on Spurs, a Category A, which is the Chelsea's, the Arsenals, the Man United games, between 65 and 103. I'm not actually sure if that includes the 20% price rise recently. I don't think it does now, but I'm open to correction on that. Category B, which is like Everton and whatever, is 48 to 95. And Category C, which would be Sheffield United and the likes of that, 37 to 60 or to 80. So that's the comparison for now. The season ticket prices I didn't include because they vary considerably whereabouts you're sitting in the ground. So you can see Atlanta Brave fans are paying probably more for their tickets than we are. And that's why their revenue is so high compared to the size of their stadium. But they're a very, very lucrative, very, very well run and a very liquid company. There's loads of cash.
And also, both Liberty and ENIC have won major trophies since taken over. The Atlanta Braves and Spurs, the World Series for the Atlanta Braves in 2021 and the League Cup in 2008.
Yeah, can I just clarify that, Dermot? They have won. There's a qualifying competition for the World Series. They have won that a few times, but I didn't include that because I don't think you get a trophy for that. But Liberty have owned the Atlanta Braves since 2007. So you can see now that they're not exactly awash with trophies, a bit like ENIC.
Well, you do get a trophy for winning your National League.
Yeah,
so
you do, but yeah, they probably are more successful. But the World Series is what they all go for in America.
Oh, yeah, of course it is. And then this is the stadium, as Philip says. Their stadium hosts 41,000. We hold 62,000. Now, Philip, I was going through the Premier League Right, let me put myself back up there again. That's better. I mean, guys, I'll start with you, Ollie. Would you take Liberty Media for what we've read out there for you first? Would you say, yeah, come by Tottenham, we'll take you? And also what they've done with Formula One as well, which is they've totally transformed on Formula One.
Well, obviously you've told me a little bit about them there. Like, it's hard to know exactly what they're like and just what I found out there, but I'm just at the stage now where I would have to see 3 years of continuous progress for me to change my mind on Enoch now. Like, I gave him another chance when they hired Conte, and I wanted to see how that went, and it went tits up again. I wanted him out when he sacked Jose. That was kind of like when I was like, you know what, we've had these owners long enough now. And then Nuno came in, really wanted them out. And then when Conte came in, I thought, you know what, we'll just give him one more chance. Yeah. And I'm at the stage now. The way they act and the way they go about things, I just want to change at this stage. I want to see somebody, whether it's I would be willing to give them a chance and see what they're like, because it's the way that Enoch have us at the moment. Like, they have us thinking that we can't get rid of players fast. They have us all thinking that, when the club down the road, Chelsea, have stripped down their squad. They've gotten rid of all the deadwood, no problem. But yet, at the end of last season, we conceded 60 goals. And there was talk coming out of Paul O'Keefe saying, you know, we're going to rip up contracts. And look, they're all the same guys are going on the tour. We're taking them on the tour. They're still not gone. So while a club down the road has had an absolute disaster of a season, and they've just gone, right, we have to strip this down. Now, whether that's right or wrong, but they're getting rid of the players, and they're proving that the players can go. But we've still got players who've been here 8 or 9 years, and that's Enoch. They like to hold on. They see them all as assets, and they want to hold on to them and get as much money out of them as possible, instead of just cutting their losses. And that's what I really want to change on. I want to see owners come in and just get the players what they need and get the players out. I'm looking at. Go on, sorry.
No, do you know what I think? Another, we didn't mention something about Liberty there, that they also happen to own for Live Nation, with all those rock concert venues all over the place, and they also own. This is quite surprising. Embedded somewhere in their load of companies, they own Ticketmaster.
All right, yeah.
So they've got a huge entertainment experience, if you know what I mean. A lot of their money is ploughed into the entertainment / sporting arenas. So that's why I think they'd be such a good fit for Tottenham. Whereas the Qataris, apart from having loads of money, where's their history of promoting entertainment? I know the sort of entertainment they do like in Saudi Arabia and Qatar, but I better not mention it on here.
Be careful, Philip. I'm going to warn you.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas Liberty have got track record, Formula One, ticket sales, rock concerts, the whole lot. I think they'd be a perfect fit for us.
Yeah. Look, before we come to you, Colin, and look, again, I am running a poll in the chat. Which owners would you like? Liberty Media, Qatar, or Enoch? Which do you think, guys, is losing at the moment?
Well, Enoch.
Yeah, 7%. Somebody's actually voted for Enoch, so fair play to you.
Daniel Levy is watching us.
Hi, Daniel.
Yeah.
How's
Hi,
things
Mr.
in
Levy.
Perth?
Yeah. What's his name? Jordan. TalkSport. Daniel Levy's best friend.
Steve Jordan.
Qatar 71%, Philip, and Liberty Media 24%. Look,
well, I don't know.
We when we had this conversation during the week, Philip, we were coming at it at different angles, weren't we?
Yeah.
Well, I was trying, but we sort of, more we've talked about it, the more we've sort of come together on this.
We had plans to say I was going to be for Liberty. Dermot was going to say, right, we want Qatar, but Dermot can't find any evidence to bring Qatar in, can you?
No, because Colin, I know what Liberty Media have done with Formula One. I don't know if you do watch Formula One. I know there's a lot of Formula One fans that watch us. I know what they've done with Formula One. They've turned it, when Bernie Ecclestone had it, it was a rich man's playground. Now with Liberty Media, we've got Drive to Survive. The fans are more involved in it. It's a more fan-based sport now. Do you know? They're changing it for the fans. So, do you know? With your football hat on, do you think the likes of Liberty Media would be better for Tottenham than a Qatari bid?
So hold on, let me take my Manchester United hat off.
Yeah,
and just football. So, yes, in all honesty, I would say Liberty for Tottenham Hotspur would be the better option out of the two. But I think Qatar fits United more because, no disrespect to Tottenham or anything, but the pressure at Old Trafford at Manchester United is a lot bigger. We expect to win trophies. We expect to do well every single season, challenging for the top positions, challenging for the Champions League, Cup finals, This is what we as Manchester United fans expect every single year. And we don't really need a company to come in and have their arm around us and be like, yes, we're your best friends. Yes, we're going to do this, this, and this for you. We just need somebody that's going to have the money that can rival the likes of Cities and Newcastle's, Arsenal even this season. Sorry to swear in your channel, but they've spent big money. That's what we need. And Qatar is the right kind of group to do that for United. Just turn around and say to us, look, we're not going to get too involved. Here's the money. We've got all the structure. Don't worry about it. Just go out and get the players you need. And that's what we need at United. Tottenham would benefit so much more under Liberty.
Yeah.
Can I actually ask you a question, Colin? Just 2 seconds, just while you're on that. Obviously, United won a lot of United fans would want anybody but the Glazers, right? But I actually listened to something interesting on, I don't know if you follow him, he's Big Steve TV, Man City, and he did a show with the PSG Ultras, they have Qatari owners, and they actually want them Qatari owners out. They're not happy with the way they've ran PSG, the way that they've turned them into Galacticos. They're not interested in building a team. They bring in Neymar and Messi and Mbappe, and they're just not like what they want to be. Would you be worried that these Qatari owners, apparently there is links between these and Al Khalifi at PSG? Would you be happy with the Qatari owners coming in and kind of doing a similar job like what they've done at PSG?
Yeah, I mean, it's always a worry that they're going to come in and do that. United don't want to be, this whole stupid Galactico at all. Which is why, I mean, over on my channel, there's been a lot of transfer talks. And obviously the whole big thing was, well, if Qatari come to buy Man United and they get it, we'll get Mbappe. No, we won't, because Mbappe does not like the Qataris. That is why he wants to leave PSG. So I am a little bit worried, but I don't think they would be able to get away with it. Man United's got a very, very deep, rich history already. They're not going to be able to come in and just change it, because the fans won't let them do it.
Yeah, I just want to say big up to Lee Stratham, Leeds fan as well. Big up, Lee. I hope you're doing well. We've got Terry Plows as well. It's Tottenham Hotspur. It's only a name Levy and Enoch used to build their empire, but they don't care about the football club itself. We've got Edem as well. Big up, Eddie says, but United have spent big and they have no structures. I think that's what you were saying, Colin. Philip, look, we've seen enough of Spurs over the years with different ownerships. We were around with the Scholar years, with Alan Sugar, and now Levy and Enoch. And now, look, we're looking like we're hoping that somebody's going to buy us out, Liberty Media or the Qataris. What do you want to see happen? Look, Tottenham have, like Man United, have a rich history, have a depth in history. The first club to win an FA Cup as a non-league side, the first team to do the double, the first team to win a European trophy. I think they were the first team to win 2 European trophies back in when they won the '84 UEFA Cup.
Yeah,
they were the leading winners of the FA Cup before we got left behind. If Liberty Media were to come in and take us over, what's the one thing you want them to do at Tottenham?
Right. I'm trying to check something here. Do you remember the 2 big concerts that were at Tottenham there in the last year or so, Lady Gaga and Beyonce? I'm trying to find out who promoted those concerts because I have a feeling Live Nation may have been involved in one or other of them, which means they've already had dealings with Enoch, right, over the use of the stadium. Plus the fact they made a shitload of money on Ticketmaster from the ticket sales as well. So they've got a foot in on the entertainment side of the game. I want to see them come in and invest heavily, right? Daniel Levy promised all the profits from the concerts would go back into the club. I don't honestly believe him. I don't think that's. I think he just said this. I don't believe he ever had that intention, right? But I would expect someone like Live Nation or Liberty, right, who have cash to burn, not to be scrimpy with it, to come in and. I don't want to go like PSG and become Galacticos, right? But I want them able to buy class players that will deliver trophies to this club, which is badly needed. And I think if they can do a two-pronged attack, money from the entertainment side to field the soccer side, and that would do me grand. But whether that happens or not, I don't know. I think you're right, Colin. Qataris probably would suit United better because your pitch, your ground, or while it has been used for concerts, it's not set up for it, whereas our ground it's ready to go. You know.
So look, it's I mean, Kate's saying it was Parkwood Entertainment
and Live Nation. Yeah, I thought Live Nation were in there somewhere.
Yeah.
So they've already had dealings with Levy, so they know what he's like to deal with.
Big up Ed as well, saying the same thing. Well, look, guys, with most of the Premier clubs with foreign owners, would you be happy with that? Now, I was going through the owners of the Premier League teams. Only 3 clubs out of the whole Premier League teams are British owned, but owned by English people. Brentford, Brighton, and us. All the rest of them are either US owned. I've got a few of them here, and 1 or 2 of them has really shocked me. So, of course, let me take that off there. Of course, we were owned by Joe Lewis and Daniel Levy. There's their percentages of the cup. Manchester City, of course, are owned by Abu Dhabi United Group, state-owned Silver Lake, which is a US company, and then the China Media Capital and China CITIC Group have got 1%. Newcastle United, of course, are public investors fund by state-owned by who they are. Is it Saudi Arabia?
Saudi Arabia,
yeah. And then they're owned 10% each by 2 British companies, RB Sports and Media, and the PCP Capital Partners both got 10%. Now, this one flew under the radar for me. Sheffield United are 100% owned by a Saudi paper manufacturing company by some prince. Now, I'll start with you, Colin. Did you know they were owned by that, or is that a shock to you as well? Because it was a shock to me when I saw it earlier.
No, and I live quite local to Sheffield. I had no idea. I honestly thought that their owner was a British local businessman.
Yeah, and what about you, Ollie? Is that a shock?
No idea. Yeah.
Didn't know. I mean, Philip, do you think because they're in the Championship last year, weren't they, Philip? So I think that's why.
Yeah, no, really. The ownership of a lot of clubs really has never been questioned. It's only when the ownership comes into doubt, like United and Spurs, you begin to look to see who owns them. And Newcastle, obviously. I'm just reading about there's a guy, and the chairman is a guy called Yusuf Gian Sarakusa. And Abdullah bin Musaid Al Saud. Yeah. I suppose the fact now that it doesn't say how long he's owned them. Let me just see now.
But and of course, Luton Town, the news are supported owned. Now we know you what, Ollie?
I didn't know that either.
Yeah. Well, only they're owned by the man that owns the house that people have to walk through to get into the stadium.
Yeah.
He has the bigger percentage.
And also
that there's a private. Yeah, there's a private parking space for David Pleat, but it's round the curb.
No.
Apparently.
Would you believe that guy has owned Sheffield United for 10 years?
Has he really?
Yeah. September 2013, he took him over. So there you are. So they have been in the Premiership a couple of times since he took him over.
Yeah. And also the AA and the RAC, of course, are big sponsors as well for Luton Town Football Club.
I'm saying nothing. I'll let you take the rap for that one.
apparently. But
Allegedly.
anyway.
Allegedly.
Anyway, Tequila says, where was the choice of me being the new owner? That would be my choice on the post.
You got 5 billion sitting in your back pocket there, Tequila.
Liberty do want to invest in football club, and they don't want full control as of yet.
That could play into Daniel Levy's hands, actually, that one.
Yeah. Do you think that's where it might go, Philip? Do you think it
possibly.
might go in that direction? Sort of, look, what we'll invest so much in. And
if they took an 80% stake and left Enoch with 20%, but the problem there is how much influence would that 20% allow Daniel Levy? It certainly wouldn't leave him enough to make decisions.
No,
he'd be a junior partner, which mightn't be too bad. Plus, it would mean he still has a handle on the club, but he's no control over the club, so it mightn't be a bad thing as long as they structure the deal right and that he can no longer do what he's doing now.
Yeah. Look now, guys. With Liberty Media looking at Spurs, would you be happy to see them take Spurs over? Now, I know I'd probably do that same question to you, Colin, as Man United, but I want to spin the question, guys. Okay, a little bit. Now, with many owners in the Premier League coming from the US, a majority of them are US-based owners. Do you think, like the NFL, like Major League Baseball and all this, will come into a factor of some of these bigger stadiums like Tottenham? We have a different pitch for NFL when the NFL comes over here. Do you think some of these American sports will come over to us on Premier League grounds? And do you think, is that a good thing or a bad thing for British sport? If you want to go first in that, Colin.
Yeah. I think it's a good thing, personally. Does look how many people actually do watch American sports. I'm a WWE fan. WrestleMania, the next WrestleMania might be coming to London, so that's a big thing for me, and it's going to a stadium in London, hopefully. NFL, I watch NFL. I've got no issue with American sports coming over to the UK, as long as it isn't taking over the world of football in the UK. I've got no issue with it whatsoever.
Yeah, and Ollie, look, we have our NFL every year at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. How does that make you feel being a Spurs fan? Are you a bit annoyed because they're playing a different sport on our hallowed pitch? Or do you think it's a good thing to think, look, if this money's now going back into the team, we'll take all the extra revenue we can get?
Yeah, I have no problem with NFL coming to the UK, and I'm not into NFL at all, but I have no issue with teams coming over, playing in the Tottenham Stadium, playing in any stadium. I don't care about it, doesn't bother me. But the one thing I will say, as long as the money made by the NFL and by the concerts is being used to benefit the football club, and the owners do remember that we are actually a football club and that's primary and everything else is secondary, I have no problem with the model, because obviously we have to generate income to compete, and that's a good way of doing it. It's a really good model, but it's just whether our owners are going to use it to benefit the football. Obviously the owners are spending the money. I think they spend enough money, but it's how they spend it, how long it takes them to spend it, and how long it takes them to, obviously, like I said earlier, get rid of players. They just don't act like football club owners anymore. They're fallen behind. But yeah, no problem with NFL coming to the UK. Doesn't bother me.
Philip, can I just ask you a quick question, just really before you make your point? Look, you've seen Spurs for many years now. How do you feel as a Spurs supporter for many years? I've seen where Spurs were back in the 70s to where you see Spurs now, and the American football being played at White Hart Lane. And how do you feel personally as a Spurs fan? Does it does it upset you, or do you think
Why,
it goes
why
with
would,
the times?
why would it upset me? If it brings in extra money, I think it's a great idea. But I'll tell you one thing. You asked a question about would other clubs get involved with American sports, right? Now, the 4 main American sports are baseball, NFL, ice hockey, and basketball, right? Now, you can't play baseball on the soccer pitch. It's the wrong shape for a start, right? Ice hockey, definitely you can't play, unless in the winter you can play it there maybe. Basketball, you can't play on a soccer pitch. So NFL is the only one that can really be played on a soccer pitch because the pitch
you could play baseball on a soccer pitch.
But you could not really. Not really. You couldn't. It's the wrong shape. Baseball grounds are diamond shaped, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, to carry on my story about the NFL. Right. I know we play NFL because we've provided the pitch for NFL, right? So is Wembley Stadium. They play at Wembley as well. But remember this: have you seen the size of our NFL squad? And have you seen the size of the guys that's in it?
Yeah.
We have built special dressing rooms to cater for the size of the squad and the size of the player. So that is a big. You've got 22-stone guys going into a normal dressing room. 3 of them would pack it out. Whereas we've built stadium dressing rooms that can cater for these guys. And that's why we're going to get the business, because we've catered wholly. Like, guys coming to an American football game in Tottenham, they might as well be playing it in America because all the facilities they have at home are exactly there. And that's why we're going to score there. And that's why I say bring it on. Brings in the revenue as long as it's spent on the team, as Ollie says.
Yeah. So do you think Liberty Media then, do you think American owners then, if we're looking at those, is better fit for us than the Qatari ownership?
Of course, because they're actually selling tickets for concerts and games like we would have at White Hart Lane or Tottenham Stadium. They're Live Nation and Ticketmaster. They're already in the game. It's a natural progression for them to have their own stadium to hold the things in. They don't have to rent the stadium because they own it. More money for them.
But on the flip side, guys, we've got a fan here who's had American owners, and he's totally sick of them. So, who would like Qataris to take over? So,
what club are we talking about?
I think Mansfield Town or Macclesfield United.
With all due respect, there's not a great load of scope that they can do down in, the first or second division team. Maybe the owners don't have the cash.
I'm joking, Philip. I was joking saying that.
That's all right. But not all owners are cash rich like the Qataris and the Liberty.
Yeah, but
look at Wigan. They have a foreign owner couldn't pay the wages for months.
But the flip
side.
See, the
thing is, Dermot.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was going to ask you, Colin, on the flip side of that, you want the American owners out. So do you think American owners, we've had Liverpool as well, they've had American owners and it hasn't gone down well with them. So do you think American owners are bad for the Premier League then?
No, I don't. And this is what I was going to say. I don't think American owners are bad for the Premier League. I think it's the people. It's just the people. Like, as it was alluded to earlier, our American owners bought the club on debt, which then the FA brought in a rule so nobody else could do that because of how badly they did it. They've took dividends out every single year without fail. They've not put a penny. Yes, I know I saw some comments in the chat earlier saying Man United have spent. Yes, we have. We spent over £1 billion in transfers, but not a single penny of that £1 billion was given to us by the Glazers. That was our own generated income. So it's not all Americans. I mean, look at he's Canadian, I suppose, but look at what Ryan Reynolds is doing at Wrexham.
Yeah,
he's got. Is it Rob McElhenney? I think he's American.
Yes, yeah.
They're doing wonderful things for Wrexham. Got them back into playing into the leagues. So it's not all about where they're from; it's the actual people. So no, I don't despise American owners.
And Tequila says, "Did you go to MITB, Colin?"
MITB,
Manchester Institute of Technology. I think the B is a mistake.
Yeah, I think so. I think, did you go to MIT? I think that's what he means.
Oh, no. I didn't go to MIT.
Okay.
No.
Ed Hem puts it, Americans know how to do sports. You get your money's worth buying the ticket, and you do, to be fair.
Right. Yeah.
You really do. So, look, Colin, I know what Liberty Media has done for my second sport, Formula One. Totally transformed it. But they've put Formula One people to run Formula One. Is that what you want? Is that what we all want that at Tottenham? Tottenham people running Tottenham Hotspur. Do you think if Liberty came in and did a group of ex-Spurs players, put somebody that knows Spurs running Spurs, like a chairman, a former Spurs player as a chairman, and then a group of ex-Spurs players to advise, would you be happy with that? Or what do you want to see under a new ownership at Tottenham if Liberty did come in? What do you want to see happen?
Who's that to?
Ollie first.
Right.
To me? Oh.
Yeah.
Do I want Spurs people running Spurs?
Yeah.
Well, I just want the right people running Spurs. I want, obviously, football people running it, the football side of things, but they don't have to have any affiliation with Spurs in the past for me. Like, that means nothing because, like, if you look at Everton, Graham Sharp is on the board at Everton. He's a hero as a player. You're both remember Graham Sharp.
Yeah.
He scored bags loads of. He's on the board at Everton, and look at the mess there. So it doesn't have to be like anyone to do with Spurs running the club. It just has to be someone who knows their football and knows what they're doing. They don't have to have any. They don't have to have played for Spurs, being a manager at Spurs, or anything like that. They just have to be the right people for the job.
Yeah, I mean, Colin, he said Money in the Bank WWE show a few weeks ago. Philip, look.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
Philip, before I go to you, back to your column on the last point of this question, but Philip, I'll go to you. What do you know? We've seen it with Man United, with the class of '92, when they went and bought over Salford United or Salford City. We've seen it with Wrexham. If it's done correctly, you can be successful. But with the likes of a Graham Roberts or a Gary Mabbutt or people that have won stuff, a Steve Perriman, that have won stuff for Spurs over the years, even somebody from the 80s and 90s, get them involved in the club, how to on the history side or on the running side of the football side. Do you think that'd be a good thing for Spurs, or what do you want to see? You've seen Tottenham a lot of times, so what would you want to see?
Listen, I take Ollie's point. It doesn't have to be ex-Spurs connected, but if there are any ex-Spurs players who went on to be successful in business, right? Now, I'm this sneaky feeling Paul Miller might have done something like that. Someone that's got a good business head on them, bring them in as an advisor, not to run the thing, but they just have them there sitting in the background to say, "Calm down, lads," or you can do this or you can't do that. Knowing the history and the sort of the feeling that the club has for certain things, so that would be an advantage. Not essential, but it would be a help. And I'm sure there are players out there that have gone on to be successful in their business life after they finish football. It's not 100%, certain, but or needed. But it's better to have someone that's got a. Let's face it, you wouldn't bring in anybody that had Arsenal connections.
No,
you know what I mean. So,
well, we did George Graham, and he won us a trophy.
Yeah, but that was a different scenario,
But he won us a trophy.
Yeah, sure.
Mario brought a Spanish fella in for 6 months, and he won us a trophy too. But there you go. Look, Colin, you look at Liverpool. I know Liverpool, your deadliest rivals, but I'm just trying to make a point. You look at Liverpool. They promote from within. Liverpool was always, kept in house. United were the same with the class of '92. Fergie made sure there was people from the past always there. Because it worked there, do you think that'll work at Tottenham? Or what do you think Liberty might bring to Spurs if they were to take over? Do you think they would go down that route?
Possibly. Obviously, I can't say what they will and what they won't do. I can only give a personal view on what I think would be a good idea, and if I was Liberty, what I would do. And I wouldn't actually get too involved in trying to get the right people in. What I would do is I would go out there and I would try and bring somebody in that is well known for what he does. And the person that springs to my mind straight away is somebody I want to stay at United, and that's Mr. Ralph Rangnick. Ralph Rangnick is a builder of clubs. He knows the right people. He knows who's going to be able to do the jobs within certain positions within a club like Tottenham Hotspur. So if I was Liberty Media and I took over Spurs, I'd be getting on the phone to him and saying, right, we need you to build our club. Yeah, we need you to go out and find the right people that's going to come in and do the job correctly and the best that they can for us to progress forward. And that's what I do.
Yeah, delegation. That's what it's and that's true from Tequila. Ollie, that's spot on, isn't it? It's delegation, isn't it? It's 100%. We know Levy gets involved with transfers. We've seen it over the years, and he mucks it up time after time. You know, years ago, wasn't it, Philip? There was the manager and then the chairman, and that was it. And then it went from the manager to the sporting director, then the chairman. Now it's the manager, sporting director, the assistant sporting director, the assistant of the assistant, going to talk to a director of the assistant, and then the chairman.
I heard Tottenham was the first team in England to bring in a sporting director.
Yeah,
we were the first team to go down that road.
We were the first team to make a massive BLT as well, from the manager to the chairman. So, you know, there's a lot of lettuce and tomatoes to get through there. But you know, should it be like the old days?
It can't be like the old days, because football has become such a more a multi-million-pound business in recent years, and as such, you've got to have professional standards and ethics in it, and you've got to have proper people running as well. If you just had a chairman and a manager now, right, with the money that's flowing around, the chances of corruption are rife. You know, you have a chairman going home with a bootload of cash after every game. You know, so that can't happen now, because people cash taking a turn so now anymore. But no, the game has moved on, and the administration of it has had to move up a gear accordingly to keep up with the trends, and to keep up with the UEFA regulations, FIFA regulations, FA regulations. You know, like there's an army of people working at clubs just dealing with that alone that we don't even know about.
No, that's true. Big up Mr. Ben Coffin as well. Hope you're doing well, sir. Big up and welcome, Ben.
Yeah, Ben.
Tequila saying arson. Do you know that's
Frank
I wonder.
Anderson.
Yeah. Was he the first one? Yeah. Now, I just wanted to bring this up, right? I looked at it earlier, and it really just shocked me. So this is the list of every owner in the Premier League. Now, the men, we know the Arsenal are owned by Americans, Villa owned by Americans, and I don't know what flag that is, Philip. Can you see it?
I can't see that. It's too small for me on my screen.
Okay. The Bournemouth are American owned. Brentford, Brighton are
They've
owned by...
just come in, them owners at Bournemouth.
Yeah?
Yeah.
They're both British owners. Then you've got Burnley, Chelsea, who are owned by God knows everybody. You've got Palace, who are with Steve Parish, and then 3 American owners. Everton, look at the trouble they're in. Fulham, they're American and Pakistan owned. Liverpool, of course, are the Fenway Sports Group, American owned. Luton, of course, they're Sport owned. Man City, we know. Man United, Colin would definitely know. Newcastle United, we know. Forest are owned by Greek, the Capital Maritime and Trading Corporation.
Yeah, he owns Olympiacos as well.
It does. Yeah. Sheffield United are Saudi owned. Tottenham, of course, are British owned. West Ham are Welsh and Czechoslovak, Czech owned, and then Wolves are owned by China. So there are the owners of the Premier League clubs. Philip, years ago, it was just all British owners. Has foreign ownership, Philip, been good or bad for the British game?
Personally, I don't give a toss. It's only Tottenham I'm worried about, really, to be honest with you. I couldn't care less who owns Bournemouth or owns Brighton. No, it doesn't affect us. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect you. It doesn't affect anybody. So I really don't think it's worth worrying too much about who owns what. Man United, I will take into consideration because they're a big club and they could have an implication who owns us in future times. But it doesn't really matter who owns a club because it's no effect on us whatsoever, really. You think
I'm not talking about us, Philip. I'm talking as general. Years ago in the 70s, 80s, it was morely British owned. Now it's more foreign owners. Yeah. Has that been good or bad for the British game as a whole?
I don't think it's affected us, really. I don't think it's affected it too much at all. Because
No.
why? It's the players on the pitch that affect the game, not really the people. Okay, unless it's a big scandal, unless something really rips through a club, like there has been a couple of them. But no, I really think it's like until you mentioned that, I didn't have a clue there was that many foreign owners in the Premiership because it's something that never really looked at.
It didn't me either, Philip. It shocked me when I saw that earlier. Ollie, look, I'll go to you in a minute. Colin, look, we know the Glazers and Fenways and they're Liverpool. Apparently that's Egypt, that flag, that on Villa. That's in the Egyptian flag. Big up, Ben. Thank you for telling me that. Look, I same question to you as well, Colin, as a younger fan. Do you know, you look at United, the Edwards family under Fergie, one that, do you know, as same as under Matt Busby, great line of success. And then you had the Americans and you are where you are. Liverpool has foreign ownership made it bigger for some teams and worse for others?
I don't think so. No, I'm all for whoever, whatever country, nationality, whatever you want to come from. If you've got the money to buy a club, go ahead and buy a club as long as you do the right thing, buy the club. But I think, if anything, it's probably helped the English game because we're spread worldwide now. The Premier League is the most watched league in the whole world. But that's probably because, these owners, these in Egypt owners that own Villa and, Chinese owners that own Forest, they'll be plastering Forest flags and stuff over in China or in Egypt. And, so it's probably helped the spotlight shine a lot more on the Premier League than what it did do before all this foreign ownership happened anyway.
Yeah, that's true. And Ollie, look, the game over here in Ireland is in disarray at the moment. It's not really funded, is it? To be fair, what do you think of foreign ownership? What's your thought of that as a Premier League as a brand? Do you think that's invested more? When it was the first division, it wasn't much of a brand, was it? But the Premier League has become a brand within itself. Yeah. Do you think that's why we've basically attracted more foreign ownership because this is where the money is? We're the richest league in the world, aren't we?
That's what I was going to say. Obviously, in 1993, the team signed up to the Premier League instead of 1992-93. They signed up to the Premier League with Sky, and obviously, as soon as that happened, it got the coverage, it got the global attention, and foreign owners was always going to come in. And when you ask me that question, I'll be honest with you, I'm 36, so when it's always been like this for me. Yeah. Probably got into football when I was 9 or 10, and it was already happening then. The Premier League was a global league, and the foreign owners were starting to take an interest in the club. I remember, obviously, he was always in the UK, wasn't he? But I remember Mohammed Al Fayed taking over Fulham. That was kind of big at the time, wasn't it? And he was putting money into them, and they were coming up the leagues, and it was always happening. And obviously, Abramovich came in, and they've always been there for me, really, because obviously I know in the 90s it wasn't full of foreign owners, but when you're a kid, you're not going to give a toss about who owns a club. So I've never known any different.
Philip, look, it's the Premier League itself is a brand, isn't it? It's the biggest brand in the world. We've got the biggest league in the world, and Tottenham are one of the biggest clubs in the world. Look, I'm not saying we're like a Man United, but we have got history. We've got we're stepped in history, aren't we? And we are one of the big six clubs in the Premier League. We are a big club, and I don't think a lot of people would disagree with that, saying we're not a big club because we haven't won anything. But Tottenham,
we have won stuff, though, haven't we?
We are a big club. We are a big club.
Tottenham as a name. Sorry, Ollie. Go on.
Oh, enough one there.
Now, Tottenham as a name are a big club. We're as big as Man United, as Liverpool, and whatever. Yeah. So, people should be tripping over themselves to get to buy Tottenham. And I know your views. I know you've used but I know you've used Philip on Middle Eastern ownership, right?
Yeah.
Do you think where some of the foreign ownership has been good for the game, is the Middle Eastern ownership been bad for the game? Has it been bad for the Premier League?
No,
look, I'm not trying to trigger
we
you,
don't
but I'm
know.
just trying to make.
No,
I want to balance the argument, sort of
I
thing.
don't approve of the Newcastle takeover one bit, right? By Saudi Arabia. I don't think anybody who's got any scruples should approve of the Newcastle deal. Okay, I'm glad for the Newcastle fans. It makes me laugh that they're saying they're a bigger club than Tottenham when they haven't won a trophy in 65 years.
Yeah.
You know, but that's beside the point. I think that if there are some Middle Eastern countries that have no civil rights problems, have no access to grind. I put Abu Dhabi and Dubai in there, even though they're not quite squeaky clean, but they're okay.
Yeah.
Qatar had the problem with the World Cup, as we know, right? None of us approved of that. But it's the Saudis are the elephant in the room here. And I think anyone with a Saudi ownership does have blood on their hands, you know, and shouldn't be too shouting it from the rooftops how big they are now when they've got ownership like that. Because I think that's why I think an American ownership for Spurs would be ideal, because it mightn't be ideal. Some people mightn't like an American owner, might have had bad experiences. Liverpool maybe would say that things didn't go right for them. But I would rather have an American owner than a Middle Eastern owner. So, I'm not being racist or anything. I'm just being on a purely business suitability model. America is better for us.
So, Ollie, and then Colin, I'll go with you. Does the Premier League need to change its rules to stop countries like with human rights issues getting hold of Premier League clubs? I will come to you last on that, Philip, as well, because we've seen. Philip is right to say that there is human rights issues with all countries have issues in the past. But you do see what happens in some of these countries in the Middle East. And do you feel that the Premier League were too lenient, say, to let the Newcastle ownership go through like it did? Do you know, does there have to be a change in the rule that you have to be fit and proper on all levels to own a Premier League club? That's for you, Ollie. I'll let you go first.
Well, they passed the fit and proper purpose. Like, they passed it. So obviously, maybe they do need to change some rules, but let's not forget. Look at Joe Lewis. Like, he isn't squeaky clean. He has human rights issues in South America, I heard. Also, didn't he make his money on betting on currencies failing? Like, betting on people's...
That's not human rights. That was a currency speculation. That's not legal, you know.
But there is human rights thing in indigenous things in South America, though. So it's, you know, he's hardly squeaky clean. I'm sure that the city owners are not squeaky clean either. So it's they may, if there is problems, maybe they do need to change the rules. But they passed the test, didn't they? They passed it and they got in.
The same question. Yeah, I agree. I know what you're saying, Ollie, but you look at Saudi owners, Colin, right? And you look at the problems Qatar had with the World Cup and I'll be honest, we saw the documentaries. We know the deaths that happened in building the World Cup in Qatar, how all that was swept under the carpet by FIFA and by other big, by FIFA and the World Cup organising committee and whatever went on. Does money talk more in football than it did years ago, where there was principles and there was common sense, where now it's who's got the biggest check, get what they want. Do you know what I mean? Has football gone so far down the corruption route that it's rotten to the core?
Well, I mean, I know certain things. I won't disclose them online. I'll tell you after in regards to certain things with the Newcastle takeover. But it is getting to that point where it is getting beyond corruption now. Yes, the FA have a fit and proper test. You have to pass it. It is very, very stringent. You know, they look at a lot of things. But when human rights allegations come in against clubs that are trying to do takeovers, The FA can't stop them because they are allegations. They haven't been proven. Even though, general public and general consensus and people with common knowledge know what's actually happening over there, unless there is physical evidential proof, the FA cannot do anything about it. So therefore, they can't stop them from taking over a club in England.
And that's why Newcastle got away with it.
Yeah, can I just go through the poll? Thanks, Dave Coleman. You are a diamond. This has really shocked me. The poll's tightening up, you believe it or not. Liberty Media are 24%. The Qatars are 43%. ENIC are 33%.
Surprising.
So Daniel Levy's family are obviously watching. Right?
Yeah.
I can't believe that.
Please let us
Can I actually say something on Newcastle?
Hang on. And Carl just said there is only sponsored by
Saturday
Heineken.
night. Saturday night, I have to. Have to, Carl.
We get a drunk Ollie-tron.
Oh, no. I'm only having one now. I'm in work tomorrow. But
if you fall off the chair that way, we know what's happened, Ollie.
Don't worry. I'm actually only having one. I'm in work tomorrow. I'm behaving myself.
Yeah, sure you are.
Can I just say something about Newcastle, though? Any of their fans piping up, all I'll say to them is that having an owner isn't a trophy. They haven't won a trophy yet, so that's all I'm going to say to them for now when they're piping up about their owners.
But look,
I'll jump on the back of you. Here, Ollie. Newcastle fans, you got beat by a team in your cup final that had a lamppost up front.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Listen, can I just get in there about Newcastle? What Colm said is absolutely right. I think if there was any room for allowing human rights abuse and allegations as part of the rules of getting your fit to own certificate, whatever you want to call it, they would have failed at the first attempt. They got away with it due to a technicality in the rules. You cannot do anything that hasn't been proven. But I think we all know that the PIF is controlled by MBS, the Mohammed bin Salman, whatever you call him, the guy that allegedly had that journalist Khashoggi hacked to death in Turkey. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say any more. Newcastle should not be owned by the Saudis if the rules were correct. But I take your point. You cannot work on allegations.
They've managed to get in golf as well, though, haven't they? They've gotten the Live Golf and the PGA.
Look where that ended up. I think they ended up in the war.
Yeah, and the PGA lost. The PGA lost.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that now. I don't know.
Yeah. I get everyone's points. I get everyone's point that allegations, but surely to God, they should be more stringent tests put in.
Well, I remember a couple of years ago, there was a guy trying to buy Derby County, and he kept getting turned down. But he was turned down on his financial background. And I suppose you think about it, that should be the main attribute, because if you haven't got the money to pay the wages at the club, as the guys at Wigan have found out numerous times last season. Remember they were on the verge of that, but were they actually dock points, or were on the verge of getting dock points?
They were on the verge of getting dock points.
They were getting paid about 6 weeks late.
Yeah.
And those guys wouldn't be on big money. It's not as if they could afford it, So financial obviously is the first thing, but there should be something in fit to rule. If you've got blood on your hands, you should be made to account for it. But again, somebody has to come forward, make an allegation, prove it in court, and then it can stick up.
Yeah, but look, we'll get onto this in a minute. Ben says, shame on your Ollie drinking that rubbish over Dermot's Irish.
Every time he sends a message, I'll just take another sup of it.
Yeah, and then we've got Carl saying, Ben, the Gardaí took Dermot's stash. They did. He's
still sitting on the potching barrel, yeah.
I am, yeah. We've got more. I nearly put a video in the background tonight to finish off the show on that, actually, tonight for a bit of fun. So actually, I will do. We'll find something at the end of the show. We'll do a bit of fun on that, just to have a bit of a laugh at the end. Look, I know Philip, you're gonna have a go at me, but I don't know, where is he? Where's he gone?
Oh.
All right. Look, we got Mr. Golden Hammer here, right? Look, we'll see you in Perth in Australia. We're going to beat your ass there because Tottenham are a big club. He says Spurs are a big club. I hate Arsenal. Well, I suppose that's something we can both agree on. Fair play, yeah. But they aren't. They are the only true. Oh well, that's enough of that fucking rubbish.
You couldn't even read. You couldn't even read it all, could you?
Yeah.
You couldn't even read it all.
No, I couldn't. I couldn't even. No, I just couldn't.
Unfortunately, some of the things he was saying there was facts, but I don't blame you for not reading it out loud.
Yeah, they actually are. But he just say to me, Dermot, why aren't you pulling up my comments, mate? Well, I just pulled them
Because we
up.
can't handle the truth.
I've just got word that the Ryanair plane that West Ham chartered to get to Australia. It's just landed.
Has it? Anyway,
Work it out. Ryanair to Australia. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. Carl says that this is that London loving again between Arsenal, West Ham, and Chelsea.
Yeah, they all love each other.
Yeah.
Now, look, Philip.
I think one thing about West Ham before we carry on. That I says fair dues to West Ham for absolutely screwing Arsenal for 105 million for Declan Rice.
Yeah,
that is the best bit of business you will ever do. He's not worth a quarter of that.
No, and look, all joking aside, look, fair play to you for winning the Conference League as well. I have to say, do you know?
Yeah.
No, fair. We didn't respect the competition when we were in it, and look, we didn't though. Philip and Ollie, did we? We didn't respect.
They wouldn't let us back into it because we had a COVID problem. We tried to get the match postponed, and they kicked us out because of that. You know.
Yeah, but Philip, we should have been well qualified by then anyway.
Of course we could.
Yeah,
but I can't even give a toss about that competition anyway.
You have to give credit where credit's due. We always do.
Well done to them. Fair dues. Yeah. You know, it'll be the first trophy and the last you'll have for the next 20 years.
It will, and we will be in Perth next week.
Mm-hmm.
Scoreline for next week.
You can watch it here as well. If you haven't got Spurs play, you can watch it here on Tuesday.
I'll say to that West Ham fan as well, just be aware that I think Danny Kelly said it, and obviously he's been watching football a long time. He came up with a stat that when a team has won a trophy and they're kind of like, you know, most of the time outside the top 4, top 6, they usually get relegated 1 or 2 years later. And it's always happened to Wigan, happened to Leicester, happened to Swansea. Just watch out.
Dangerous territory.
Yeah.
That is so true. I'm trying to find that. Where's that thing? Okay. Go on, Philip. Go on. Ask one question there. Send the side there, Philip. I'll be with you in a minute.
Should be any more here that we need to get that? Yeah. We've done most of these now, I think. See this one here. We'll be looking for 5 billion. Is the overpricing Spurs? Have we done that one? We have. No.
Yeah. No, we haven't, Philip. Do that one.
Well, I mean, okay. I'm using Man United as a yardstick here. If Manchester United are sold for 3.5, 4 billion, give or take, Levy can't ask for any more because, in all fairness, Man United have a bigger worldwide footprint than Tottenham have. You know, so I think if whatever United go for, we should be getting fairly close to it, but certainly not more, and certainly not 5 billion. That's what do you think on that, Colin? What do you reckon? What do you think?
See, I think he's going to be asking more price-wise because of obviously the stadium and everything else that's already built. At United, they have to build a stadium or fix a stadium. Everything's already there, ready to go at Spurs, which is probably why he's looking for such a hefty amount of money.
Do you know what I think? I have a theory on that. There could be 2 ways of buying Spurs. One with the debt, right, and one without the debt. So you could get a lower price if you take over the debt and repay it in the years to come, or you clear the debt now. So the prices would have to be higher if you're clearing the debt now. So that could be a 2-pronged attack there. If somebody's willing to take on 700 million of debt.
Just to say, see you, big up Golden Ham. He says, see you in Australia, mate. We smashed Perth's Glory 6-2. They're a better team as well. Look, he's joking.
He's joking. I hope he's joking.
Can I just say, I just want to say, fair play to him for coming into a Spurs channel and actually being respectful. I have to give him credit for that.
Can I just say something to him before he jumps off as well?
Yeah.
I don't know how you're going to smash Spurs when you have Scott McTominay from Manchester United in your midfield. Because that's going to be happening soon.
To replace Declan Rice.
Yeah, exactly. That is why he's going there, to replace Declan Rice.
It's like trading in a Mercedes and buying a Lada or something like that. Yeah.
But anyway, listen, Golden Hammer. Look, if you haven't got Spurs play, come here. We're doing the watch along Tuesday, me and Philip. So come in. But fair play to you for coming in and being respectful. That's all we ask for, isn't it, Philip? Other fans come in.
You might be slagged to death by us, but we're not. There's no harm in it, really. You know, we don't mean.
If
you're an Arsenal fan, it'll be different. You know.
Yeah. And Carl says Perth Glory. and you were running your mouth because of preseason friendly. F me, let's just see who finishes higher next season.
Yeah.
I tell you what, look, Golden Hammer, if Spurs finish higher than you, you come on here. And if you run a YouTube channel, if West Ham finish higher than Spurs, I'll go onto your channel. So there you go. There's a bet. Let's see. And the same goes for you, Colin. We'll have a Tottenham Man United bet because we know you're a Man United fan. Now,
I'm boycotting United.
I know you are. Right, now to finish this off, me and Philip and Ellie and Mia, sometimes we get a bit of old footage from Ireland and from the back day, from the years gone by when life was a bit simpler back in the day. And we've played this video before. It's only about 5 or 6 minutes long. So, Philip, I know you're in a rush to go.
Yeah, I actually have to go now, but I know the video's coming. So
okay. So, Philip, when are we on again? Very quickly, and then I'll do this with Ollie and Colin.
It'll be Monday, 4 o'clock on Monday.
4 o'clock, where we're doing the sort of a build-up?
Yeah, doing a kind of build-up to the West Ham game and a bit of any transfer news, hopefully centre-back news. And then Tuesday morning, we're doing the watch-along at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, and then we are doing news beat at 4 as a pre.
Yeah. Well, I won't be doing news beat. The girls will be doing that one.
This is lovely.
That, lads, I'll head off.
Listen, hang on, Philip. This is for you. This is for you, actually, from India Guna. It says, at Philip Brady, I am an Arsenal fan, but I like the calmness in your debates, and I've always been respectful too. Oh, well,
very good. That's very good. Well done. No, I appreciate that. I mean, that's, what we don't like, or we get too much of, is maybe hysterical comments that, aren't really meaning too much. But that is a nice comment, Indian Gooner, and fair dues to you. Well done.
Yeah, no, fair play. Fair play. Right, Philip, you know what's happening, so lads.
See you later, lads.
Yeah.
See you, Colin. Right. See you, Ollie.
See you later.
All the best.
What we do with this, I'll take you out there, Philip. What we do with these videos, right? We have no sound on, but we make up our own sort of dialogue of what is happening here. So I'm going to press play so anyone can start. You can say what you want as long as it's Tottenham related. Okay, or you can say anything you like. So anyway, so it's called the Gardaí Poaching Patrol. But we sort of try to add it in the Tottenham way. I think you've seen this before, haven't you, Colin?
I think I've seen one or two before, yeah.
They are quite funny. But anyway, so we hit play there. Hang on. Now, they're the lads walking out now from the training ground, from the plane, getting ready to go onto the pitch. There's Harry Kane looking for his suit. He's protected. Yeah. Love the team bus they got on it. What do you reckon to that team bus now?
That's a great team bus. It's the best team bus I've seen in a while. Dyer's driving, I see.
Yeah.
There's the boat for when we sink.
Yeah. Now they're on their way to the stadium now. Coming out of Hotspur Way, heading to Old Trafford.
God.
Yeah. Down the road they go. Over the bridge. Look at that old bridge there.
It's more structurally intact than Old Trafford is, that bridge.
Look, there's Daniel Levy spy running away. Now look, there's the road now to the stadium in Perth now. They're driving down. Eric Dyer's driving pretty fast down there, and Ed says, off to remove Eric Dyer from yeah. So anyway, so look at that, love. There's the team swimming pool. Now, there's Harry Kane leading the lads. Look, there's Højbjerg and Romero after him now, trying to. Eric Dyer's hiding. Oh no, there's Eric there in the front of the boat there. There's a swimming pool again, Ollie. And after the team to go in afterwards. Now, now here comes the Tottenham team on the way to the pitch. Now there's Daniel Levy with hair. Or is that the Glazers? One or the other.
Oh, God.
Now, here's the team coming in now. They're just coming in to park the boat now to get ready for the match now. I don't see Eric Dyer there, Ollie. Have they pushed him over the side? Have they on the way to the pitch?
Yeah, with no life vest. Come on. Sorry, that's me daughter.
Now, here's the new training facilities for Tottenham. There's the new changing rooms. And the lads walking around now to get the key now. And they're saying, "Oh shit, lads, we forgot the key. How do we get in?" There's Hoybia
with his stick, beating everyone.
No. I think they found me as Dungeon, really.
I think that as well. Sorry.
He's looking, going, "Don't worry, Hoybia, we'll get you out. Don't worry.
That's where they keep their money for the transfer budget, in there, locked away.
There's Romero. He's just legged it out. Here's for Madam. Has anyone seen Seki? These do make me laugh. I do apologise. Oh Jesus! Look at all that lovely stuff being. Look at that. Oh, what you reckon?
I don't know what to say to this, to be honest with you.
That's the solidity of all the transfer rumours of Kane going to PSG.
Yeah.
Now this is the team doing some training work, right? This is to build their muscles up for the season. There's Romero. Look, there you go. Look how strong Romero is for the season. There's Andrew.
He's got a proper oh, your laugh sets me off, Derm.
I'm sorry. It's so funny. We've got Tequila said. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, look for a new centre back. Yeah.
This one set me off the last time. I don't know why I put it on the game, but it always does. Oh dear. Right, here we go. It's always a bit of fun on a Saturday night, this. Anyway, this is Dyer looking around. Look, we've got you now. You can leave me as Dungeon. Now, this is the lads on the... This is Hawaii 5-0. Oh, look, they're coming back.
There's Joel Glazer.
Yeah.
That's Avram.
That's Levy.
What is this video?
We do this sometimes.
What? This is so random.
Back in a minute. I'm sorry.
Love it. It's just me and you now, Colin, watching this.
Oh God.
What am I watching?
I don't think Tapsoba's in there, mate.
No.
The new team mascot.
Yeah. Police trying to find Dyer's body in the river. Yeah. Hide and loot.
I'm sorry, this cracked me up the last time. I don't know why I put it on the game, but it just cracks me up. Oh dear. Anyway, there's the Spurs players trying to break out of... Well, they're still trying to break out of Mia's dungeon.
That's Kane trying to get out.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Now we know.
We're trying to trap him in.
Look, there's Romero. Look, go on, Harry. You can get out, Harry.
Yeah.
You're out.
I thought that'd be Richarlison. Go on, Harry. You're free. You can go.
Free Harry. A bit like Free Willy. Free Harry. Anyway, oh Jesus, the bit holes here. This is training facilities for Dyer. How to defend.
Them holes are our defense.
They are, yeah. Look at this lad here. Look, they're trying to fill the holes up. The lads, look. There. Yeah.
That'd be what Hugo.
Well, see, this is the problem. This is Hugo, how he's been. Look, they're building. Look, there's the man on the radio now. Come on, lads. Yeah, that's it. We've got our defense now. Yeah, we're going. Anyone seen Harry? Where is he? Anyway, they're off then. Well, there's only 3 of them going back, so they must have got rid of Dyer then.
They left Dyer in Australia.
Tequila saying the search for Dougal's body continues. Mr. Levy is getting for question. Oh dear. Now this is Harry Kane now and Dyer now. I don't know what they're trying to do here, but I don't know what's happening here. Well, they found a bit of That's what they were feeding Romero and Harry Kane.
I thought that was some of the part of Harry Kane's new contract.
Yeah,
400k a week, captaincy, and whatever that was.
Yeah, there's Harry trying. I mean, what a waste of Poching, though. Seriously, though, isn't it, Ollie?
Horrible waste.
It is a horrible waste. Have you two ever tried Poching?
Yeah, I was up.
I'll say I have.
I was up in Donegal. I had it when I used to work in Killybegs. I used to work on the fishing boats up there, and the lads were mad for Poching. I was like only 17, 18.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Knock the head off you.
No, this is from Ireland, not England. It's got nothing to do. We've never ran India. Well, not to my knowledge, anyway. Anyway, and there's the lads. They're going back now. I think that's the end of it. Now, oh no, what's happening here?
That was an interesting. No, it's nearly over.
It is. Anyway, we'll end that there.
Interesting video.
We do that. We actually do that for a bit. We do that for a bit of fun, Ollie. We always.
You're dead right too. I love randomness. You know.
Yeah.
Love it.
Philip, when me and Philip and Ellie when Mia do this now, I cannot. I have to come off stream because I'm laughing that much. I'm literally stitching. My tears have been running down my face while that's been on because it cracks me up every time. We've got India Guna saying, my bad. Yeah, well, Ollie can confirm a Sogan column. Ireland have never owned India.
No.
We were owned ourselves, but we got out of it. But to be fair.
You must be assuming we're from the UK.
Yeah. T. Kelly says, "Love guy, LOL guys, you love that video." I do. It's the most funniest thing ever. The yeast active, the Adam says yeast active. They discovered Don Collins.
Oh.
I can see why you do it now with these comments.
Yeah. We've got Adam says, "Come in, Paratici. Can you hear me, Paratici?" And we've got Daniel Field says, I think he did, yeah, very close anyway. I fell asleep with a few hours to go. They're looking for Dyer's form.
Well, you have to keep looking.
Yeah, they will do. Guys, look. Oh, good news now. We have taken over the UK in terms of GDP and economy, though. Fair play to you.
Congrats.
Congrats from three Irish fellas here, 2 people living in Ireland and one just living in England for the time being before he moves back home. Do you know, fair play to you. But Ireland are the richest country in the world, apparently. There you go.
There you go.
Well, we've got the best run economy in the world anyway. And Antonia says, if anyone's joined in the last 5 minutes, I promise it's usually.
Yeah.
It is, believe me. Do you know what? The numbers did go up when that video came on for some reason.
Good.
He also said, webcast. Yeah, the people on Twitter must see this and thinking, Lord Jesus, there's a bunch of fucking lunatics drinking. Tequila says, as a UK person, it doesn't bother me. Indian Guna, but thanks for sharing. And then we've got India. Yes, Ireland's one of the best in quality of life. Yeah, it is, isn't it? I'm living over here. Yeah. Anyway, listen, guys. Pre-season on Wednesday, on Tuesday. When's your next pre-season game, Colin? And do you want to give your channel a plug? But
good question. See, it's really difficult to remember when they are because I'm very, very boycotting United, and I'm trying not to keep up with anything that they're doing.
Yeah.
Apart from my hashtags, #Glazer out on Twitter every single day.
Yeah.
But I believe we play again on Monday. I believe.
Yeah.
but I don't hold me to that. But yeah, so I think we might be covering it. I won't be doing it, obviously, but it'll be over on Full Time Sports Network, where we just don't cover Man United. We cover all football from Premier League to non-league, and also we cover all the kind of sports: F1, cricket, basketball, baseball, wrestling, you name it.
Well, I'm definitely coming over for your boxing one. I'm looking forward to that, and the F1 as well. We're actually going to cover the Belgian Grand Prix. So maybe, Colin, we might do it as a joint stream on both networks and might we talk about that actually?
Yeah.
You would do something like that. Ollie, great to have you on, my man.
Thanks very much for having me.
I'm glad. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope to see you again. A bit of randomness at the end, I know.
Hang on,
let me think. What's your thoughts for Tuesday? What's your thoughts for Tuesday, man? And what's your score going to be for Tottenham West Ham?
Hopefully we'll beat them 2-0. But here, I don't really get too much bothered about pre-season. It's just all about fitness, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But we don't want to lose to West Ham, do we? So,
no.
Yeah, 2-0 to Spurs. He has to change the whole way we play now. We've been playing a low block for the last 4 years, so it's going to be a big job for him just to kind of change that mindset in the players that no, you don't retreat anymore. You go forward and you keep on going forward. So might be a few teething problems at the start, but hopefully there isn't. But yeah, 2-0 Spurs, but here, it's pre-season, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Ollie, Colin, can you send me your link very quickly so I can put that into the chat as well, please?
Thanks very much for that.
Listen, Ollie, you're fan football fans. You had your first live stream last week. It's been a pleasure having you on as always. You're one of the nicest people on YouTube. A very good friend to me, actually as well, and one of my best friends here on YouTube.
That means a lot, Dermot. And thanks so much for having me on.
No, I enjoy your company, Ollie. You know that. You, Dave Harris, and Philip, when we all go to the Island Games, it's always a good laugh and we always have a good joke and that.
And plenty of Tottenham games this year as well.
Oh, definitely, man. Where can people find you?
Yeah, down below, Van Football Events. It's just a channel where I do most of my videos in my van when I'm on my break and, have something, something might be happening at the time, whether it's transfer news or I talk about Tottenham stuff. I actually do talk about other teams as well. My last couple of videos, I've talked about just transfers, what's happening with Man United, Liverpool, Man City. I will talk about anything what's going on that day and if it's on my mind. And also, I did do my first live stream last Sunday, and it actually was about the top six and teams breaking into the top six. And I did do it with a Gooner. So it's just a football channel. I just talk about football, but mostly Spurs, but I do try to include other teams too.
Yeah. And I'll put this one in as well if I can. This is for Colin. Hang on. Just put this in now for you, Colin.
Yeah, thank you very much.
A mixture between lowercase and uppercase, so just ignore that. There's Colin's channel as well, Full Time Spurs Network, where you can find everyone. So listen, everyone, please get on to them two links. But please sub and subscribe here if you've enjoyed this, the madness, the naughtiness. That we rarely all are short for a few shillings on this channel, but we love talking Spurs. We just love making people laugh. But we are back Monday with Newsbeat at 4 with the latest transfer and breaking Spurs news. Myself and Philip were on Tuesday. Me and Philip are back with our first watch along of the new 23-24 season. 10 o'clock in the morning for Tottenham versus West Ham. A whole new scoreboard, a whole new sort of setup for the watch along. So I'm looking forward to showing that off. And of course, we're back at 4 with Newsbeat. I think it's myself, Mia, and Ellie on Tuesday. So be back for that. We're having tomorrow off. But whatever you do, please get over to Ollie's channel, give him a like and a subscribe. Do the same to Colin's channel as well. Two nice lads. Listen, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. And as we do at the end of every show, we always bring up Fred. Now, this is Fred, right? This is Colin after hearing the Glazers are staying at Manchester United. And on that bombshell, which is later. So no column. It shows that we are very nice to other fans on this channel, but whatever you do in that breaking news, take care of yourself. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday evening. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you
Big
Spurs.
Ange we trust. Go on, Colin. You can say it. Come on. Doesn't take a lot. So just say, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, United.
Oh, God, nearly. There's a bit of breaking news for you. Good night.
Good man, Colin.